before y'all get on. Hopefully recording. There we go. We are live. Boom. All right, y'all watching the recording. Make sure you drop us a line and make sure that you stay to the end. This is going to be a good one because Zoe with a umlaut is fired up. Is that an umlaut, Zoe?
It is, yeah.
Awesome.
It's so people know how to say my name. A lot of people, when they meet me, they'll be like, Zoe. I'm like, almost. You're close.
All right. Well, welcome to the room, everyone. We are about 4 minutes away from getting started today. Very excited. The sun is shining. Spring is in the air all over the country. And we have a great topic today. We've got some video prospecting today. The value of video. And video is changing the game right now. So welcome. 5 minutes. So let us know where you're from when you jump on the chat here. Give us a heads up. I am in Austin, Texas. Zoe, where are you from? Or where are you at, actually?
Yeah, I'm in Colorado Springs. I am from California, but right now I'm living in the dead center of the state of Colorado. And it is sunny and 75 right now, which is awesome.
Awesome. So we got California, Colorado, and Texas representing. Where is everybody? Oh, there. Let's see. Oh, I'm not going to try that. Wausau, Wisconsin. Welcome, Patrick Bradley. Wisconsin, y'all are probably thawing out a little bit over there. Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Definitely, y'all are getting close to some warm weather. I got some friends out there. Welcome. We got a lot of Canadian audience members here. We actually have a good international crowd of members here. So because of the time zone we're in, we do fall within pretty much capable for a lot of people, but our India and our Asian population usually tune into the replay here.
Nice.
Awesome. We got Gonzalo from Mexico City. Welcome. Well, Zoe, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, we're going to talk about video strategy. So specifically how to utilize video within your sales process to hopefully, book more meetings, have better conversations, and close more deals faster. Because that's what we want.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, are you getting a lot of people really holding back and hesitant to moving into video right now, or are people leaning in?
It's a split. I mean, I think before the world kind of shut down, people were like, I don't need that. It's fine. But now with everything being so, spaced out, people working remote, you kind of have to adapt to a more digital approach. And I think people are really missing the human aspect of their interactions. I mean, people go into sales because they're charming and they're good with people and they're good at conversation. And that doesn't always translate through plain text. So salespeople, while it might seem intimidating to be on video, what I like to tell people is it's just you getting face to face with somebody when you can't be in person. And it kind of takes some of the scaries out of it. And I think when people understand that piece, they're much more willing to buy in because they believe that they're better in person. So this is just kind of the next best thing.
I love it too. And I even heard someone talking about the other day. Welcome, Jaro from Long Island. All right, we got more people joining. Let us know where you're from. We're going to get started here in 2 minutes. I heard somebody talking the other day, and it really resonated with me. I had set up a meeting with some other video platform, and I hadn't even clicked the video yet, but it stuck out in my mind because they had sent me 4 videos with my name on something, and I didn't even click the videos, nothing else, but it resonated with me. It stuck there in a longer period of time because it was different than everything else, than just the text or the block or whatever else. And I love the idea. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I was just going to say, it helps you stand out because right now we are in a time where you're ahead of the curve if you're getting on video. I think 5 years from now, everybody's going to be using it and it'll be a little too late to grab your edge with it. But right now it's not widely used. And when it is used, it's not always used well because people don't really know how to do it. They're like, I'll just send a video and read off a script and maybe it'll work. But there's a lot of little things you can do to make your video pop, help you stand out, and make sure that you're communicating more clearly because there's benefits that video has that you just can't get. Yeah, in a plain text email. It gives you familiarity, it helps you build know, like, and trust, it helps you build rapport, and it gets your face in front of them like I remember a face way better than I remember a name. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I think there's a lot of psychology to it.
I agree. Some serious neuroscience behind this. All right, well, we are going to get rolling here. I don't got to press a button because we are already recording and we are live. Let us know. We still love to know where you are tuning in from. So please drop that off in the box. And also, if you are using video in your prospecting right now, please give us a little yes in the chat here. Let us know that you are using video now. I'd love to see what our audience is doing out there. All right, y'all. Well, welcome to another awesome, yes, they're all awesome, NASP webinar. We are the National Association of Sales Professionals. One of the KPIs that we measure the success of this webinar in is KPI. We all know what KPI, right? Key Performance Indicator is insights to words spoken. So all the fluff's going to come in here at the beginning. You know, I'm a little full of hot air. It's always going to drop some hammers, insights, and I'm going to flow some hot air at the end. But I do want y'all to know that, look, we are here in the National Association of Sales Professionals. What is our differentiator? Why are we special? One, we bring in the best content, the best speakers, the best products, the best principles that are out there to help you grow your business and be the best salesperson. We also have an amazing community of like-minded individuals to help you grow that accountability. But our programs, everybody knows that there's a little difference of being a salesperson and feeling like a salesperson. Jason Weinstein, what's up, brother? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Recent CPSP grad right there. See, not all salespeople feel like salespeople. In fact, most people who start in sales don't feel like they have the identity of a salesperson. They don't feel like they have the grind, the grit, all those things, right? To persevere through the difficult things. And what are the difficult things? It's changing your behavior and changing your habits. Why? Because if you're not in sales before, you don't like walking up to people and hearing no all the time. But when you're in sales, this is a part of the process. This is a part of who we are. And is it easy to go from one to the other? No, it just takes a little time, a little commitment, a little consistency. And that's what we do at NASP with our certifications. So I am done with that, but I got a little drop I'm gonna give you at the end here. But we are going to bring you, and I scoped out this one here, y'all. I found Zoe Hartsfield. Why? Because Zoe is, first of all, she's an ex-athlete, right? Not ex-athlete. She's an ex-college and high school athlete, very successful athlete, right? And we all know what we love about great salespeople is a lot of them come from athletics, right? A lot of them come from the sports game. Why? Because they learn that grind, that hustle at a very early age. And this one's a hustler and a grinder. And she knows stuff about video that we need to know. So I'm gonna unleash Zoe here on you. I'm gonna interject like I do a little bit. We're gonna wrap this in 20-25 minutes. I'm gonna come in with something at the end, but I promise you, I give you my word, by the end of this video, you will have some steps that you can take to start using video for the first time if you've never used video before. And if you're already dabbling video, I promise that you are going to take some valuable insights away to really start being more effective with your video. So Zoe with BombBomb, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, everybody. Like Chris said, my name is Zoe Hartsfield. It's nice to meet you. For a qualification for myself, I have sent nearly 4,000 personal videos in the last 2 years. So pretty much everything I'm going to walk you through is stuff I have learned from trial and error, so you don't have to struggle through it. So let's jump into it. I want to give you a bunch of actionable tips. But first, why video?
Before you get rolling to the last thing I want to say, everybody didn't think you'd be jumping on Zoom calls all day long until quarantine and pandemic happened. Now all of a sudden you can't get off Zoom calls. So don't think this is anything different. Don't wait for something to throw you into it. Jump on this right now. All right, Zoe,
Absolutely.
I'm going to start smaller.
Yeah.
Here, go ahead.
Yeah, so why video? One thing Chris and I were talking about a little bit ago was, a year ago, people weren't really using video. Now people are jumping on it, but you're still ahead of the curve. If you're starting video today, you are ahead of the curve of everybody else. It is an opportunity for you to stand out and be different. And why video? Why does that work? It's because it gets you face-to-face when you simply cannot be face-to-face, which is, for everybody right now, it's kind of tough to be in person. So this is an opportunity to look someone theoretically in the eye on their screen and communicate as you. You are putting yourself back into your communication. Now, why does that work? Why does that help? Well, video gets you better open rates. I linked a study right here from AB Tasty. They're like an A/B testing blog. And they talked about how the average office worker receives up to 121 emails a day. Now, that was 2 years ago. The number has gone up since. But video can increase your chances of an open rate by upwards of 13%. So that's 13% more eyeballs seeing your message. And that is huge when you're talking about cold outreach. Now, it also gets you better reply rates because let's be honest, open rates are kind of vanity metrics. Like, cool, everybody opened my email, but if they don't respond to you, what does it matter? If you don't get a meeting, what does it matter? Well, according to Sales Loft, video and sales emails can improve your reply rate by up to 26%. And that is massive for a cold outreach campaign. This applies both for warm and cold. When, some people's sequences, their average reply rate is like below 5%. I had a reply rate of 12% on average for all of my cold sequences. I had one sequence that had a 32% reply rate. I had a sequence that had an 89% open rate. Video gets you more at bats. And that's what we want to talk about today. And it's because it puts you back in your messaging. It helps you stand out. You convey your tone and clarity in a way that simple text video cannot. So why does that work? We'll just jump through this really quick and then we're going to get into the actual strategy of it. But I want you to understand why it works. It's because there's a psychology to using video. And it's because when we see a human face, oxytocin gets released in our brains, right? Like we light up when we talk to other people, and it's because we are relational beings. We aren't doing business B2C and B2B anymore. We are doing business human to human. People expect a customer experience. They expect like a white glove walkthrough, and video is a way to really elevate that customer experience because customer experience really starts before you ever even talk to the person. It's how they're interacting with your brand. It's what they see about you before they've ever picked up the phone to actually talk to one of your reps. So before, during, and after interacting with an actual person from your brand, what is the experience you're giving? Video gives you a great shot at a good first impression. And one thing I want to note right here is we're talking about authentic video. This does not need to be highly produced. You can see this is my office background. That's my ugly calendar back there. This is where I send a lot of my videos. I'll do it from my couch. I'll send them from my phone. Don't stress about the green screens. Don't stress about the flash. People want to talk to you because you have expertise and value to offer. So let's get started.
Zoe, real quick, I love the authenticness. When you can look at a video and it doesn't look overproduced or mass-produced, you automatically understand the personal touch that went into that. And it's more like it's like the same like an email. Like if I get an email and there's 3 blocks of text and I'm like, or there's 2 sentences and one of them is like I heard it from a friend, I'm much more likely to read the latter than the giant preformed templated email or message that comes to me. So love that.
Absolutely. I mean, we consume content in a totally different way than we used to. Our attention spans are like this long. So we're going to talk about how to use video in a way that catches your audience's attention and also keeps it, because, you don't want to send a 5-minute video that they're like, yeah, this is going to take me forever. I don't want to watch that. So let's talk about that introduction, that first touch. Winning by Design is a consulting company that talks to go-to-market teams about how to improve their customer experience from marketing all the way through CX. And they describe a who, why, what's in it for me format. So when you're reaching out to people, be thinking about, introducing yourself and who you are, why you're reaching out to them, show them you know them, show them you know their problem, you know what a future state with a solution could look like, and then introduce your product or service as the solution. And do that all in 20 to 40 seconds. I know it sounds really intimidating, but if you think about it, if you've never met somebody before, if you've no referral, if you have no warm introduction, if they are not an inbound lead, have you really earned any of their time? Probably not. And if you're using a tool, like I obviously use BombBomb, I work for BombBomb, but if you're using a video tool, some of them, BombBomb does, will have the timestamp at the bottom of the video in the animated preview. So it'll show you waving, it'll show the whiteboard with their name on it, it'll say 26 seconds. If I'm Zoe and somebody reaches out to me with a whiteboard that says, hey, Zoe, I made this for you, and I see that it's 26 seconds long, I, of course, have 26 seconds to listen to somebody talk about me because I like talking about me, and so do we all. It's part of human nature. So that's where we want to break down, is it realistic to send a personal video to everybody all the time? No, nobody has that kind of time. So I want to talk about personal versus personalized. Video is inherently personal, because you're a person and you are putting yourself into your communication. So when it's appropriate, you can scale video. I used to talk to sales and business development leaders. Like that was my market that I was selling into. So I could have an evergreen video where I spoke to their pains, I spoke to their problems. It was specific enough that it was relevant to them, but I never said their name. So I could send it to 100 people if I needed to. And I'll show you guys a quick example. Make sure you can hear the audio in this. Let's see here. Nope. All right. Let me see if I can share my audio really fast. Sorry. Do you know where I would do that? Is there...
You know what, Zoe? I think you might have to email me that video so I can upload it. I'm not sure the video will play the audio in that way.
Okay, well, we can do this. We'll send it to him after the fact. Okay, so I won't be able to show you guys the videos, but imagine a script where I'm saying, hey, Zoe here from BombBomb, and we help business development leaders just like you. So I never said their name. I never said their company. But I'm speaking to them still very directly. And I could send that to 100 people. I could send that to 10 people. I could send it to 1,000 people. I wouldn't recommend sending it to 1,000 people, but you could. A one-to-one video is going to be, hey, Chris, Zoe from BombBomb here. I know that you are the business development leader over at NASP, insert value prop, insert solution. You know, you're talking one-to-one. You write their name on a whiteboard. The way I used to break this out is I would have one-to-one sends. I would have company sends where I would either write the company name or draw their logo on a whiteboard if I was reaching out to a couple different people at an organization, or I would do these evergreen sends where it was persona specific or it applied to a group of people. And I wanted to make sure I could be as relevant as possible while still keeping it scalable. So with all of that in mind, you can think through different ways to put that into your outreach, but try and keep your video between 20 and 40 seconds. I know it's tough, but less than a minute is the sweet spot. People have that in their brain to say, okay, 56 seconds, I can watch 56 seconds. Whereas when it goes over that minute, sometimes people are like, I don't really have time for this. So.
To your point, sorry, I was muted there. My mind will shut off on 2 paragraphs. I won't read it. My mind will say, I don't have that time. When it's not a lot of time, it would take me less than 30 seconds to read those. But my mind just says that because that's what the block time. Some of the best people out there are doing cold calling and outreach right now, using text and SMS, are still using 5 words or 6 words for their first email outreach. Why? Because it's such a low commitment. And when you ask for overcommitment right off the way, you've automatically tilted the people don't want to move forward on that relationship because they've already developed a perception. And videos are such a great way to break those patterns for people.
Absolutely. And every time somebody ignores one of your emails, they're subconsciously training yourself to ignore your future communication. Like, your name gets forgotten more and more every time it gets forgotten again, if that makes sense. So when you're able to see somebody's face, we were just talking about this, Chris, like how you've seen several videos from this company. You haven't opened a single one, but it is sticking in your brain because you've seen that face over and over, and you've seen the name over and over, and it caught your attention, and it's keeping your attention. Now they're top of mind, and that's what video does for you.
They invested some time in me, and even there's a little bit of reciprocity in there. This is all right. Maybe I invest a little bit of time in them.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's actually one thing I want to talk about is on my very first touch, when I'm introducing myself, I actually never ask people for time. Now, you can take or leave this. This was something I did. My call to action was, so I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'm going to be giving you a call later this week from a 719 number, and I hope you pick up. And I would cross my fingers, and I would smile, and I would tell them sometimes the day that I was going to give them a call. And doesn't always mean they'll pick up. I've had people pick up and say, hey, I was like expecting your call. I've also had people not pick up, and I leave a voicemail and let them know I'm going to be sending them another video email. There's ways to do it, but I think if you're going to go a more human approach, be more human in the way that you're communicating even within your video.
I love that, because people also, once they make a decision, they want to support that decision. They want to buy into that decision being good. And if you don't ask them for something up front, they don't have to make a decision on whether to do business with you or not. They can say, oh, I like that they didn't ask me. Now, all of a sudden, they got to confirm that like with everything else that happens. So the psychology behind this and the neuroscience and then the NLP is just really, really brilliant on this. So I say all that to say, these are great tools and facts, but these are all backed by science. And that's what's so brilliant about what you're telling us right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously I've tested some of this stuff with trial and error, but there's a reason it works. It's not like I reinvented the wheel here. It's because we like talking to people. Our brains work in a certain way, and video just catches a specific nerve for us. And it's a great way to be communicating right now. So One thing I do want to note is, we've got something called the animated preview. You can see right here, this is an example of an animated preview of a BombBomb video. So you can see it's 33 seconds. I wrote Chris's name. I wrote his company's logo on there. Like, is Chris not going to play that video? Like, he has 33 seconds. He sees that I made it for him. And if you put the time into personalizing a video for someone, you want to make sure that they play it. And that's where something like a whiteboard, screen recording their LinkedIn profile, or leveraging some sort of value prop in the very first sentence of your email that creates a curiosity gap to get them to press play. Because if they don't press play, then they're kind of missing a lot of the message, right? So one thing I would say is work on your subject line copy. It's also called ad copy, headline copy. You want something compelling. So what I recommend people do, if it's a personal video, in parentheses put personal video, then your subject line. So this is an example I have over here. Personal video. Do you know what your LOs are up to? Question mark. This gets a lot of opens from my CMOs at mortgage companies because they're like, well, which LO, what are you talking about? Which LOs? What's my team doing? So it's just creating this curiosity app. And I had actually spoken to some of this team and I said, oh, we spoke with the Atlanta team and they let us know, ... And this video got played 6 times because this person's like, what did they say? And they're sharing it with people in the office. And, it's creating that level of, I need to know a little bit more. I need to see what this is about. And so we're trying to generate curiosity, ask questions. And this is just a pro tip from some copywriting research I did. 49 characters or less, if you can, should be your subject line. Like, this is probably as long as you want your subject line to be. Just something compelling to get them to open it, to see that there's a video. And then something compelling enough on your whiteboard or in your animated preview or in your sentence above your video to get them to press play. And then there you are.
Boom. And listen, y'all, if you don't know what's compelling right off the bat, there's a million tools out there to help you with the subject line testers or whatnot that you can just enter your subject line in there. HubSpot's got a great tool that can let you know what kind of score they get. So definitely check those out. And because, yeah, like you said, if they don't open the email, that little personal video tag, you can't put that in there unless you got some personal video in there. So leveraging that piece, and now all of a sudden you're leveraging their congruency of their identity, right? Because once they make a decision to open the email, I'll tell you what, I get hundreds of emails every day, right? Once I make a decision to open an email, I'm trusting my instincts now. I'm trusting that out of the 100 emails that I'm going to open today, this is the one that I need to open because it connected me, it attracted me, and I'm going to pull it in. I'm going to follow up. And until something is incongruent or not aligned, then I'm going to abandon it. But if as long as this continues to be aligned and keeps me down the process, I'll follow up with that person. I'll get them on the horn. I'll say I'll have a meeting with them and assume that I'm supposed to because I don't have time to trust everything else. So I have to trust myself. And when I make a decision, I want to see that decision is right before I want to see that I'm wrong. It's just natural bias. So I love this psychology, Zoe.
And your ICP and the personas you're reaching out to better than I would. So think about the language that's important to them. Think about the things that matter to them and think about what might get them to open an email. What would get me to open an email might be different than what would make you open an email, Chris. And so you got to be thinking like your prospect and communicating in a way that makes sense to them. So love the tip about HubSpot. I would also recommend Lavender if you need help with email copy or subject line copy. They're a great tool as well. But let's jump into LinkedIn because we actually started our conversation on LinkedIn, Chris, and I love that. I'm a big fan of LinkedIn. I spend a lot of time on there. Spent a lot of time on there as a rep. And it's a great way to have an introduction with somebody and build a relationship with somebody that is low pressure. So when I send a request on LinkedIn, it usually has no note or a very short note. Hey, Zoe, looking forward to connecting. Thanks. Just really, really light touch because you got to think people get connection requests all day long from all kinds of randos, pitching them all kinds of things that they don't want. So number one, make sure your LinkedIn profile is like at least not a ghost town because they're going to click on your face and go check and see who you are. If you're just somebody trying to sell them who's never spent any time on LinkedIn, they might say no. But if you've got something to show like, hey, I'm a real person, I participate on here from time to time, you're a safer bet. Send a connection request, and when they accept, no ask, no pitch, just thank you. And the script is, Hey, Zoe here. Thank you so much for accepting my connection request. I'm really looking forward to following along with your content here on LinkedIn. Don't be a stranger. Reach out anytime if you need anything from me. Have a great day. Just another way to get my face in front of them, build that relationship, present myself as someone who is helpful because I want to be helpful. I guess if you don't want to be helpful, don't lie. Don't say that to them. But yeah, like you're just trying to create a level of familiarity and have a conversation with yourself in their various inboxes so that when they do ultimately respond to you, like Chris, when you eventually get back to that company that was reaching out to you, there's a little bit of familiarity there because you've seen that person's face, right?
Absolutely. There's even some accountability I have to maintaining that relationship or whatever it is, because I've taken the time to put myself out there. I've maybe said words or had conversations, and especially if they take the time to get rapport instead of just talking about their product, the more rapport I've had on that first encounter, the more I'm obligated to continue the conversation with them.
Absolutely. So that's where I would start, is if you're like, I don't know what to do with video, I've never sent a video before, very low pressure, very low ask, low time commitment, because it's just 10 to 12 seconds.
Zoe, hold on. I want to put a push pin in here before you move on. This is so important. I hear so many people, I tried video, it's just not working. They sent out 40, 50 videos and they're like, I don't know why they didn't buy a product after they watched the video or something. You know, like, what is your expectation out here? And our expectation as SDRs, as BDRs, whatever it is, your position in sales, it should always be to add value first and to develop rapport first, right? And these should be our first priorities. Nobody's going to buy with you if they don't like you first, and if they don't have rapport with you first. It's just not going to happen unless you're selling, books or pencils or something. That's something they need to buy. They want to get you off the phone. But if you're doing an actual consultative sale, people need to know you. They need to trust you. They need to like you. And the best way to do that is take the time to earn it. And I just love what you're saying here, because it also comes from a very abundant place. Right? Because a lot of people come from a scarce place. I gotta get deals. We try video, see if I can get some deals or get some conversations or get some prospects. You're reaching out to add value. They're like, why? Because you know that when you're valuable enough, what do we do with money? We exchange it for value, y'all. That's how you get money, is when you provide value. And so you can't do one before the other. You can't go get the money and not put the value in first. So the more you front end stack this thing with value, the more that the trust is built in along the line, and the easier it is to maintain a client through that sales process. And Zoe is excellent at it. And video is a great way to take it to them, because look, we only have so much time on the phone, so much time in the video, so many time in Zoom, but this is another opportunity for you to leave those little eggs of reminders of who you really are and what you're there for.
Absolutely. We have a saying over here at the BombBomb marketing team, and it's lead with value and abundance will follow. And it's just been so true. Like, just to come from that place of helpfulness, come from that place of expertise, you have this opportunity to show them that you know them and show them that you understand their industry, the problem that they have, and present a future state where their world could be better, and your service or product is the solution to that problem. And it just creates this trust for them that, like, oh, you actually know what you're talking about. You know what I'm dealing with. Maybe I will talk to you about this solution.
I love it. Zoe, I got a couple questions here. All right. So First, I've got from Patrick Bradley earlier on. Do you recommend sending business BB video messages via email to prospects that don't know me?
Yeah.
Okay, of course, right? Yeah, this is the best. This is one of the best opportunities to get to know somebody very quickly, is to do that little. And listen, the shorter the video, the better, right? Because you've not earned their time yet. I love what Zoe said there. Earn their time by bringing value before you ask them to give more commitment. 100% yes. All right, so we got here Jason Weinstein. My man, good question. How much does wardrobe matter? Do you change based on the prospect? Zoe, that's a good question for Zoe, who has a stocking cap on her main headshot photo, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on your industry. Like, if you're selling to really, really like buttoned up people, I probably wouldn't be in your pajamas sending videos. I sell to tech people who are all rolling around in like t-shirts and sneakers all day, every day. So for me, it's a little bit low pressure. I would never just like show up in, a really messy sweatshirt or something like that on my videos, but I would not, whatever you would normally wear to work, would wear that in your video. Like if you would go to a client meeting in that outfit, then wear that outfit.
Hey, Jason, we know it's called mirroring, Jason, right? Mirror your audience. When you're sending out something to the C-levels, executives, and what do you want them? This is a little tool from our last webinar. Matt Cameron told us about the call plan, having the three A's for your call plan. Knowing the answers, the activities, and the attitudes that you want them to feel. How do you want that person to feel after they're done watching your 20-second or 30-second video? Right? Yeah. And if you want them to say, hey, look, this is a person that I could trust, and I also could like them too, and they left me interested. I think that's kind of how we want to leave those videos is, hey, I'm curious, and I could probably hang out and have a beer with you and do some business with you at the same time, right? And so whether that's your I mean, if I'm going to an executive and I throw the jacket on, right? Throw the button down, right? Why not? Why not shoot the video? I'll tell you what. I mean, I would even say shoot some videos out there in the world, right? Go do it a little. Change your scenery a look. Like, hey, look, I had a business meeting today and I left you. I want to record this video for you. And I think there's a lot of ways that you can do, and I think what Zoe said is important. Be different. Create the gap and be different and have fun.
Yeah, be yourself, right? Like whatever way you're going to be able to communicate who you are through the video. Like for me, I do wear beanies. That's why my profile picture has a beanie in it. But I would not like walk around in my workout clothes to a business meeting ever. So there's a barrier there. And I had a teammate back when we were in the office. He had a button down. So we sell into a lot of different industries, but one of them was mortgage, and they just were a little bit more clean cut. And so he had a button down that he hung on the side of his office or on the side of his desk. And he had a jacket, like a sport coat. And sometimes he would throw on the sport coat. Sometimes he'd throw on a pair of glasses for his videos, and it just depended on who he was talking to that day. And I just would say, you know your audience better than I do. How do you want to come across to them? That's what you should wear.
When I first moved to Austin, I went to a networking event. I put a jacket on. And I think I even had a collared shirt on, and I walked in and people asked me, like, are you coming in for a job interview? Did you just leave court? No, I was like, no, they have a way. They're like, no, we wear t-shirts and jeans here. This is a different world than where you're coming from. And it was so funny how I stood out and so goofy, but know your audience, I think, is the most important part. And if you're going to sell yourself, which is what salespeople do, allow your best self to come through in that video.
Yeah. So I think I've got 2 more slides left. I want to run through them because they're good strategies.
Please do. I'll keep my mouth shut. Go for it.
Oh no, all good. So this is a tactic. Gets me a lot of opens. Like I said, you want to be having a conversation with yourself within their inboxes. So this is called the reverse voicemail. I did not invent this. My friend Morgan Ingram taught me this a year ago. I don't know if anybody follows him on LinkedIn, but he's a great guy. It's called the reverse voicemail. So if somebody doesn't pick up, not a problem. Leave them a voicemail and reference your upcoming email. So my script was something like this. Hey, Danny, it's Zoe from BombBomb. I should tell you how we help with ABC and do XYZ, but let's be honest, you're not going to call me back. So instead of leaving you a long voicemail, I'm going to send you a video email instead. See you in your inbox. And I say that, see you in your inbox, so that they know that I mentioned it's a video email. I mentioned I'm going to see them, and then they expect it. It's not an official step in my sequence. It's just something I do when I get the right voicemail, like especially if somebody says, hey, it's John. Sorry, I missed you. Leave me a message and I'll call you back. No, you're not going to call me back, John. They never call me back. So I'm just going to call it out and be honest and be friendly and outgoing about it. And then I'm going to send this video. And my whiteboard literally says, let's be honest, you won't call. And then I go into with empathy, hey, but I understand. I don't call cold callers back either. But this is the reason I'm being persistent and reaching out to you. And go into your pitch or your value prop. And, if I could get you 12% more opens and 7% more meetings booked for your team, would it be worth the conversation? And you lead with value, you offer value. It's almost positioning it instead of saying, hey, can I have 15 minutes of your time? You want to present it like, I'm going to give you 15 minutes of my expertise to help your team. It's leading with that kind of confidence, but not coming across in like a really cocky way. Like you got to balance it.
I absolutely love it. We call that in our industry a D frame, right? You can pre-frame something, let them know, all right, here's what's going to happen, here's what I'm going to do. And then sometimes you can reframe, well, maybe you didn't get this, or maybe you didn't quite understand this. Let me say it a different way. And sometimes you can deframe. Look, I know you're avoiding me. I avoid cold callers all the time. And it kind of like, it's almost like a fun takeaway of like, we're not playing silly games. Let's both be real with each other here, right?
Yeah.
And I really love that. That's awesome. I'm stealing that one. Go ahead.
Awesome. And I can send you this deck, Chris, afterwards, if you want to send this out with a recap so people can see some of these example videos, because I think they're fun to see other than just me talking about it. But this is, I cannot emphasize this enough. If you're a rep, if you have any sort of handoff in your process or any space between when you book a meeting and when you have the meeting, this is really important. So when you get off some sort of discovery call and you're planning to have a demo in a week, whether it's for yourself or for somebody else, you want to have a warm handoff. So whether you record it with like your business partner or whoever's going to be meeting with them, or you record it on your own, could be asynchronous or it could just be you. It's always, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the chat we had. Let them know some of the notes that you took. And if you are handing it off, say, hey, I gave Danny is the name of my AE that I used to have. I gave Danny all of those notes. He's really looking forward to meeting with you. He may even send you an intro video here in the coming days, and we are looking forward to it. Let me know if you need anything in the meantime. Then, if I book that meeting on Monday and my AE has the demo on Friday, on Thursday afternoon or Friday morning, Danny is sending another touch. So it creates this opportunity to demonstrate everybody's on the same page, a seamless extra reminder where he's like, hey, Danny, Zoe told me all about this. I spent time prepping to talk specifically about these 3 things that you said were really important to you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in 2 hours. Cannot wait. Why does this work? Because people don't like standing up people that they like. They don't like no showing, friendly, helpful, familiar people. And we had an 89% hold rate as a team. So for every meeting I booked, 89% of them showed up. I actually think the show rate was 95%, but every so often you get something that's like, it didn't actually end up being a qualified hold for us. So 95% show rate, 89% hold rate when we did this. So I cannot emphasize the handoff or just using that space between to stay in front of your customer. So if it's you setting meetings for yourself, same idea. Thank you so much for your time. And then sending them a quick video morning of. It's like, hey, looking forward to meeting you now. This is what we're going to go over. Did I miss anything? Send me a note and I will add it to the presentation. Looking forward to it. And it's just staying top of mind, staying in front of them. It shows a deeper commitment to the meeting from your side. And it kind of begs that same reciprocity from your prospect. And, it builds rapport, it shows expertise, it shows that you care. And also what I just want to note is, let's say you do get a no-show. Let's say somebody doesn't show up. I immediately, like 5 minutes after the meeting was supposed to start, check in and say, hey, were you still going to make it? We're waiting for you. We're excited. If anything changed, if you need to reschedule, here's my calendar link, and make it as easy as possible for them to respond to you, but do it quickly. Some people, I didn't know this was a thing, but like some reps, if somebody no-shows, they just like let it go. And I was like, oh my goodness, you need follow-up. It's so much easier to stay on top of the people you're already in front of than to try and go out and catch new fish, So stay on top of that. Use your video to leverage your humanity and stay in front of them, and make it an easy yes by offering, CTAs in your video or offering your calendar link in the email. Make the distance from ask to yes very, very short, and it's going to help you recover those meetings.
I love that tool, just to let them off the hook, right? Life gets busy, life gets crazy sometimes. Yeah. And when somebody lets you off the hook, you're now double obligated to follow up with them now.
Yeah, you feel like, oh, they're human too. And especially in today's day and age, life is so nuts these days. I had an appointment actually yesterday that I missed, and the person texted me and she was like, hey, were you still planning on coming? And I was like, I'm so sorry. We're down to 1 car right now. My husband has it. I completely forgot. And she was so sweet. She was like, do you want to reschedule? And I was like, yes, let's reschedule right now. If she hadn't texted me, I would have forgotten we had that meeting, and I would have skipped. We never would have rescheduled. And that's going to be money for her when I show up, So it's the follow-up is important. You can learn that lesson from my hairdresser, and she's great. But yeah, that was it. Those were the last 2 kind of tactics I wanted to bring up, and we're done.
Awesome. No, that was incredibly valuable. And listen, if y'all haven't heard it before, the fortune is always in the follow-up, right? It's communication. It's humanizing. All the words that she used in this presentation were all about leveraging these medias that we have to get back to human communication. Right? You think about the way people network sometimes. You wouldn't talk to somebody like that in a networking event. You wouldn't treat people like that. Like literally say the same 5 sentences to every single person you encounter in a networking event. Who does that? That's insanity. That's a psychopath, right? So why would you do that on LinkedIn when this is your way to reach and connect with people? So leverage these tools, not to. Most people are like, oh, it's more technology. It's more, I don't know. I can't. No, we're humanizing ourselves by leveraging these tools. We're getting back to what makes sense for us as people, that interaction, that connection. And trust me, one of our 6 basic needs is connection. It is connection. If you're not getting it met inside, internally on your own, then you've got to meet at other places, right? One thing we don't do with quarantine and everything that's going on right now is we're not getting the human connection we need. So when you see a video now, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times more effective than it will ever be probably down in the future, and than it ever could have been in the past because of the circumstances that we are in right now. I'm not saying video is going away anywhere. I'm just talking about the value and effectiveness that it has at this very moment in our lives as human beings. Figure it out, y'all. Jump in the pool, learn to swim, right? And listen.
It's very tempting.
And connect with Zoe on LinkedIn. If y'all have questions about BombBomb, this great people, right? You heard the words she used. Everything was very aligned with who we are, and this is who we want to bring you. We want to bring you technologies and influencers and strategists who are aligned with our moral compass, with our values, in the future of where sales is going. Sales is the #1 skill in the future, and it is no longer hard push man, aggressive, masculine sales. It is feminine, friendly, connection, instructive, consultative, connective sales. So be a human. It's your best chance to get the deal. Zoe, thank you so much for being here. Really, you're a rock star. We truly appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Looking forward to connecting with you and seeing what NASP and BombBomb can get rolling together. We're going to send out this replay for everyone. Listen, the one thing we do know that is, let me say, if I got any questions out there, any thoughts on people still referring to LinkedIn as a professional site versus a serious social media site? Interesting question. You know what? No, I mean, I think it started off as a very professional site, but now, I mean, I get solicited for dates on LinkedIn now, so I think it's crossed the line. I'm not sure I'm not the only one on this Zoom call either. So,
yeah, it's a mix. I think it's an opportunity to create a personal brand more so than other social media sites, and I think you can leverage your personal brand in a lot of different ways. For me, I use it as a platform to talk about, my expertise and the value I want to give to the community, but I also use it to kind of amplify the company I work for and what value we can bring. And I don't go on there and post all about BombBomb all the time, but by proxy, the things that I'm sharing, the level of expertise that I have is pretty specific to what I do with video email. So it's helpful.
Well, and let's also be honest too, that look, it's a business platform doesn't mean you just go there and ask for business. It's a business. If you go to a business networking event, you just don't go there asking for business. You go there to meet people. You go there to connect with people who have like minds, like interests of you, right? So when you talk about is it business or social, what's the difference, right?
It's both,
I think, right. And so, all right, I just put one little drop in the call. If you're not an NASP member, sign up today. Take advantage of the free call. We have a free seller style assessment. Our certifications are amazing, y'all. You all know that. And if you have any questions about BombBomb or NASP, you'll see it in the replay. Hit us up. Have an amazing day. Thank you, Zoe.
Thanks.
Cheers, y'all.